All right, hello everybody. Welcome to Up and Moving, a physical activity program for the Upper Peninsula. My name is Isaac Wiedig. I'm a graduate student in the Kinesiology and Integrated Physiology department at Michigan Tech. Our goal with Up and Moving is to try to help keep adults physically active here in the UP by giving you virtual workouts that you can do from home. Today, we have an aerobic, agility, and balance-based workout coming. So agility is really focused on moving your feet quickly, kind of coordinating your body in space. So we're going to be moving our feet a lot, staying active, keeping our heart rate up for about 30 or 45 minutes here for the workout. So our goal is we're going to go through a short warm-up here for 5 or 10 minutes. We will slowly bring that heart rate up, get a little bit of a sweat going, breathing rate up, and then we're going to jump into some intervals of some different agility exercises and then wrap up with a little balance work at the very end. You should not need any equipment for the workout today, just your body. Everything we're going to do is body weight focused, and you may just want to have some, I'm going to use shoes today as obstacles on the floor that we're going to kind of be moving around. You'll see how we'll use those when we get to them. But let's go ahead. We'll get into our warm-up here. I'm going to start with just some marching in place. We'll start off nice and slow here and just start to get everything moving. Make sure that you've got a water with you too. I've got mine here. We're going to be taking frequent breaks throughout the workout here for water and to catch our breaths. Good, and I'm going to sort of go into a little bit of a skip here now. So really trying to extend my toes, get maybe even a little bit of air off the ground here if you feel comfortable with that. And we can make those skips a little bit higher now. Good. And we're going to go ahead and shift over to a little bit of a quad stretch here. So I'm going to grab onto my ankle, reach my opposite hand for the sky, and just continue to flip-flop, just getting a real quick stretch. And then switching sides, we get to start getting a little bit of a balance warm-up here too, getting on one leg. So with our warm-up, we're just going to go through a bunch of different movements designed to get all of our different joints moving that we're going to use for the actual workout today. You can think of it as kind of greasing up the joints before the workout's coming. Good, and I'm going to go ahead and flip-flop into my favorite here, zombie kicks. So hands out in front. Going to be kicking those toes up to my fingertips here, while trying to keep my knee straight. We're going to get a light stretch in the back of the leg here with these. And as you feel yourself loosening up, you can try to kick that foot a little bit higher. Good, my heart rate and my breathing rate starting to get a little bit elevated here. That's what we're shooting for. Good, and let's just get a couple more of these. Awesome. We're going to switch into a little reverse lunge. So you're going to be stepping back, bending that front knee a little bit, and then I'm going to take my torso and I'm going to rotate towards my knee that's up. Come back to center, flip legs. Same thing in the other direction. So a little lunge, good twist. Get some cracks out of your back here. I know mine's doing a little bit of cracking. And again, a little bit of balance work here too, so be careful as you're rotating that torso. You don't fall over. Try to maintain that balance. Good, let's go for about 2 more. Nice big rotation, maybe even try to push your lunge a little bit deeper. Good. Next one we're gonna go into here. I'm gonna reach down for my toes, so I'm gonna hinge at my hips, push my hips back, reach for those toes. I get a little stretch in my hamstrings, then I'm coming up, extending towards the ceiling, looking at the ceiling, making a big Y with my arms, and then repeating. So looking just like this, getting a good extension in that back. Just reach down as low as you can. If you can't quite make it to your toes, that's okay. Good, and let's go for 2 more. Nice big stretch at the top. Great. Next movement, we're gonna go into a lateral lunge. So I'm gonna get my feet positioned a little wider here. I'm gonna lean towards one knee, keeping the other leg straight. And then I'm just gonna rock to the other side and continue back and forth. Gonna get a quick, light stretch on the inside of that leg. You can take those hands, put them on your thighs. We'll take a little bit of the weight off your knee if it feels like too much, but if you feel okay without those hands, you can just do this with all that weight on that foot. And rocking side to side here. Try to get a little deeper as you loosen up. Good, we're gonna go 2 more. Nice deep one. We can hold these ones for just a little bit longer. Beautiful, nice job. All right, next one we're gonna go into here, we're gonna get into some jumping jacks. So we can step a foot out, bring those hands up overhead. If you feel like you can go to a regular jumping jack here too with some hops. Either one will work. I'm gonna kind of stick with the lower intensity for now. We're gonna get those arms moving a little bit here. Good. We're gonna go for 10 more seconds. And there we go, that's time. Next one we're gonna go into here is a little speed skater. So I'm gonna be doing a little hop from one foot over to the other, swinging my arms from the side. It's gonna look like this. So I've got a little bit of bend in my knees and in my hip. And you can pretend that you're speeding down the ice rink here. Really think about pushing that floor away from you as you hop off to the side. We can keep these kind of slow for now. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can get a little bit more bent in your knees and your hips. Try to get a little lower towards the ground. We're going to start to wake those hips up a little bit here. And in our last 10 seconds, think about trying to make a little bit bigger step or a bigger hop out to the side. Good, and that is time. Last couple movements of the warm-up here, we're going to get our feet moving. With a little jog in place, I want you to think about getting your feet up off the floor and be on your toes. And I'm starting to breathe a lot harder now. So we're on those toes, quick feet. We got to wake those feet up for the workout. Now I'm going to go into some arm swings while I continue to move my feet. So bringing those arms across my body. Just keep those feet moving. We're going to be using quick feet for a lot of our movements during the workout today. So we're going to make sure we got those ankles, those feet warmed up here. And you can move forward and back a little bit if you want to here. Good, and let's just go back to a jog in place. We can pick the speed up a little bit though. Try to lift those feet up off the floor. And we're gonna go for 10 more seconds, but I want you to push your pace a little bit here. So bump it up a few miles an hour. Think of this as your last 100 meters of a race here. And we're going 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. And that is our warm-up complete. So go ahead, take a moment to grab a sip of water here. Catch our breath before we hop into our intervals. Whew. And I'm just going to kind of pace around the room here. Walk it off a little bit. Whew. So, successful warm-up. Heart rate should be up a little bit, breathing a little harder. And I feel ready to go. Ready to get into some more intense stuff. So the plan for today is we're going to do 2 intervals or 2 rounds or circuits of 5 different exercises. We're going to do each exercise for a minute. I'm going to give us a slight break between each one of those. But essentially, we're going to do all 5 exercises in a circuit format. So back to back to back, and then we'll end our circuit, take a little break, and then we're going to come back and do that one more time. So ultimately, we have 10 minutes total of work, which doesn't seem like a lot, but we can push these a little bit harder, a little higher intensity, and your heart rate will definitely stay elevated during both of those circuits. So for our first exercise, I am going to grab a couple props. So I have my cool camouflage Crocs here that I'm going to set on the floor. I'm going to grab one more shoe. So you could use remote, you could use your phone, water bottle, anything, but I've got 3 obstacles that I'm going to set up about a foot, 1.5 feet apart from one another. And we're going to call this one a weave. So move them so it's on the camera a little bit better. So you're going to start at the side of the obstacles. And what you're going to be doing is taking short, choppy steps and weaving in and out of your obstacles, trying not to touch them and keeping your hips and your chest facing forward. So it's going to look something just like this once we get going, short, choppy steps. So think about this as a game of operation. You don't want to touch the obstacles or you get that buzzer, but you want to have quick feet and try to move through there as fast as you can. All right. So we are going to do this for a minute and then move on to our next exercise. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So short, choppy steps, weaving in and out of our obstacles here. Keep those hips facing forward. I want you to shoot for accuracy first to where you're not hitting these obstacles. And then you can add speed once you get that accuracy down. Keep a little bit of bend in your knees. Stay on the balls of your feet. And we're at the 30-second marker, so we're about halfway through. Keep those feet moving. Quick feet, quick feet, quick feet. Down to our last 10 seconds. Keep weaving. I'm doing pretty good. I haven't touched any of the obstacles yet. I'm an operation champion. 3, 2, 1, and that is time. Good. So for now, we can get these out of the way. Set those to the side. Take a slight break here, about 20 seconds or so. So go ahead and walk it off. You might have a little bit of tightness in your calves or in your ankles or your shins. That's normal. Our next exercise we're going to be going to for a minute is called the Heisman step. So you're going to start by stepping in, bring the other foot in, step out, and then drive that knee up, called the Heisman because it looks like the Heisman Trophy for college football. And then you're going to come middle, drive that other knee. So that middle knee or that inside knee is getting driven up at that outside step. So middle, middle, drive your knee, middle, middle, drive your knee. All right. So let's go for a minute here. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Middle, middle, drive the knee, middle, middle, drive the knee. And ultimately, with all of our agility moves, we want to get the movement down first. And then when you're comfortable, you can try to add speed to it and make those feet move as quick as you can. Good. Keep those feet moving. Quick feet, quick feet. Middle, middle, drive the knee. Middle, middle, drive the knee. We're down to 15 seconds here, so if you can, speed it up. Also, feel free to take a break if you can't make it through the full minute. Totally fine to take a little breather and rejoin us if we're still going. 3, 2, 1, and that's time. All right, 2 exercises down. Just take a moment. If you need to drink a water, grab one. We'll walk it off for a second here. Okay. So our next exercise, while you're recovering here, I'll show you what it looks like. It's called a squat jump. So you're going to start with your feet together in a standing position, knees slightly bent, and then you're going to hop out into a squat and then bring those feet back in. So it's going to look something like this. Now, if you want to make it a little bit harder, land a little bit lower in your squat. And if you want to keep it a little bit easier, just keep a pretty shallow kind of quarter squat where you're just bending those knees a little bit when you hop out. And if you don't like the jumping, if the jumping's a little bit too much for you, you can step, step, squat, step, step, squat, come back in, step, step, squat. So 2 variations there that you can try, either the hops or the steps. All right, we're going to go for a minute. 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So feet back together, feet out, landing in a squat, feet back together, out in a squat. And this is one where if you want to make it easier or harder, again, you can play with your squat depth, but you can also do the speed. The faster you go, the harder it's going to be. So totally up to you to control your pace. Remember that we're going for a minute. So pick a pace that challenges you appropriately for that time. And this one is going to get hard after a minute here. Those legs are probably going to be burning. We're down to 10 seconds. I'm going to take a little bit of a breather and get back into it when I feel like I'm ready. 3, 2, 1, and that's time. Good. That one we're definitely going to get a little bit of a break after. That one's tough. So grab a drink. We're going to go about 20, 30 second recovery here. And we have 2 more exercises to go in this circuit. So bear with me here. Whew. Definitely breathing a little bit harder now. All right. Okay, for our next exercise, I'll show you what it looks like while you're recovering. What we're going to do is pretend like we have a line on the floor. And what we're going to do with our feet, put your toes on the line, and then you're going to think about stepping one foot over the line, the other foot over the line, and then stepping back over the line. And we're going to work down that line, stepping both feet over and both feet back, and then coming back in the other direction. So it's going to look something like this. Just pretend like you got a line there. It kind of helps guide your feet. So over, over, back, back, over, over, back, back. You can pump those arms with you if it helps. And ultimately the goal here, once you get the movement down, is to really get those feet moving nice and fast. Okay, ready? We're going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So over, over, back, back, over, over, back, back. So if you're at home watching, you can pretend like I have one of those yellow lines that they put on the field in football when you're watching on TV. And I'm stepping over that imaginary line and back. When you get to the edge of your room, just head in the opposite direction. And again, we go for accuracy first, and then we can add speed to it and really get those feet cranking. So we are at about 20 seconds left on our time here. So get those feet moving, quick feet, quick feet. Hang in there for our last 3, 2, 1. That's time. Good. Okay, little breather. We have one more exercise. Whew. All right. Okay. So this one's going to be a challenging one to end on. So these are called plank jacks. So if you've joined me before for a workout, you may have done plank jacks before. There are a couple ways that you can do this. I will show you with a chair. If you want to use the chair, this works. But essentially what you're going to be doing is getting yourself in a plank position. So straight line from shoulder down to my ankle. I have my abs nice and tight. My butt isn't sagging to the floor. And then from here, I'm going to hop my feet out, hop my feet in. So it's just like a jumping jack, but you're in this plank position. Now, if you need to make it a little bit easier, you can just do steps. So out, out, in, out, in, in. You can use a chair. You can lean up against the couch for that. But you can also do this from the floor. If you're good at planks and you feel comfortable with this, you can get in a full plank right on the floor with your elbows on the ground and do the same thing here, hopping the feet in and out or stepping. So out, out, in. So a couple of variations for you to try at home. So we're going to go for a minute. This is a long time on these. So if you need to take a break, please take a break and you can rejoin if we're still going and you feel recovered. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm going to start with steps, which is a little bit easier than the hop. So out, out, in. Think about keeping those abs nice and tight. You want to keep a straight line from that shoulder to your ankle. This is going to start to burn those abs a little bit, maybe in your quads. I'm going to take a little breather. I'm going to get my timer down on the floor here. We're about halfway. So take breaks as needed. If you're at home, keep on going if you can. Good. And I have 10 seconds left on the timer here. So let's try to push it at the end. I'm going to go into real hops. 3, 2, 1, time. Woo! That's a brutal one to end on. All right. We made it through one circuit. And I've got a good sweat going here. So take a moment. Let's grab a drink of water. We're going to take a nice long recovery here. And then the plan is we're going to rip through those 5 exercises one more time. Whew. I like to keep myself moving during the rest periods here, doing a little pacing back and forth in my living room. Oh, feels good to get up and moving early in the morning here to kick off the day. So if you are joining us on the recorded version of this workout, it's about 10 o'clock right now in the morning. So it's a great start to the day here. All right. Why did I pick plank jacks to end the circuit on? I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I plan these workouts, and then every time I actually get into the workout, I regret what I planned. Good. So we'll take a little bit longer here. Grab some more water. We're going to go back and start from the top. So if you want to get your obstacles set up in your space, go ahead and do that. So again, I like to use 3. If you got room, you can even do 4. It's kind of nice to have feel like you're actually getting somewhere and moving around the room. So the more obstacles you can fit, the better. So remember, on this one, we are weaving in and out of these obstacles, trying not to touch them, like operation, keeping our hips and our chest facing forward. Okay, I feel somewhat recovered, and I think we can crank out the second circuit. So we've got a minute on these. You got a little practice from the first round, so we can really try to push our foot speed on this one and see how quick can you get around these obstacles. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. So short, choppy steps, stay on the balls of your feet. And if at any time you feel like you got to reverse your direction, you can do that too and go the opposite way around those obstacles. Oh no, I hit one. So that's normal. If you're trying to push your speed a little bit, you may run into one of these things. That's okay. Set it back up and get back to it. Short, choppy steps. We got about 15 seconds left here, guys. Get those feet moving, quick feet. I'm going to reverse directions. And we're down to 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. And we can get these out of the way. Done with those. Take a little breather. Next exercise we're getting into here is our Heisman step. So just a quick recap. Step middle, middle, out to the side, and then drive that knee, middle, middle, out to the side, drive the knee. And we'll really try to get that speed up on this one with really quick feet. Get those feet in the middle nice and quick, and then drive that knee. Whew, big deep breath here. Okay. Ready? Let's start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So again, control your pace with what you can do at home. We want to get the heart rate and our breathing rate elevated, but only to where you're comfortable. So control the pace, take breaks when you need to. This last circuit here is going to be a little bit intense. That's all right. It's designed to be hard. And I'm going to, we're at a halfway point, so I'm going to really try to speed my feet up here. You can pretend that you are running down a football field and dodging people coming at you, trying to tackle you. Today is our opening day of the NFL season, Cowboys and Bucks tonight. So we've got to get in the football mindset here. 3, 2, 1, it's time. Good, let's take a little breather. And grab water again if you need it. All right, we got a brutal one coming up. We got squat jumps. So quick recap here. We're starting feet together, hopping the feet out and landing in a little squat. And I like to get a little rhythm where I'm just kind of bouncing back and forth here, but you can go at whatever pace feels good for you. If you need to pause that squat for a moment and then bring those feet back together. And then also too, just remember that you can do the steps. If you don't like the jumping, if that doesn't feel good on your knees, it's just stepping out, stepping back in, stepping out, little squat, step back in. Okay, we're gonna go for a minute. 3, 2, 1, and go. Feet together, hopping out. If you're at home and you're thinking, how can I even make this a little bit harder? I'll show you another one. You can actually go from here into this and then flip. So you're hopping out of your squat, hopping back, and spinning yourself around. So another variation there you can try. If you need to make it a little bit harder. And we got 15 seconds left. I'm gonna try to speed it up a little bit and get a little lower on my squats. Down to 3, 2, 1, time. Whew, that one is brutal. Okay. So we're gonna take a good rest here. The sweat is really starting to pour out now. Whew. I'm gonna get a drink. So we have 2 exercises left. We're almost there. Okay. So our next one is forward and back. So pretend like we got that line, starting with those toes on the line and then 1 foot over, other foot over, and then bringing them both back. And we're stepping over, over, back, back, and moving down that line. So go for accuracy, get the movement down first, and then we can really add in some quickness with our feet here once we get that movement down. Okay, ready, we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So if you need to at home, start slow if you're still recovering from our last interval. Or just sit out a little bit longer. Wait till you feel ready to come back. Keep a little bend in those knees. Stay on the balls of your feet. I like to move those arms with me too. They tend to help out a little bit. We're halfway through. So if you want to challenge the foot speed a little bit here, you can really try to get those feet moving. With these agility movements, you always tend to find a nice rhythm, and once you get in that rhythm, you can really push it. 3, 2, 1, time. Woo. Last exercise, and debatably the worst exercise of the workout, plank jacks. So we're gonna take a good 20, 30 seconds here. Let's recover. Get ready for these. So if you started on the floor for your last one, you found it was just a little bit too difficult, go ahead and lean up on a chair or a couch in a push-up position. Going on that incline will make it a little bit easier for you. And remember that you can either do the hops with your feet in and out, or you can step out, out, in, out, in with the feet. Okay, let's get this last minute out of the way here. Okay, ready. We are going to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm gonna go right into the hops here. I know I'm gonna need a break probably at about halfway, so I'm gonna push myself but take breaks as I need. Keep those abs tight. Don't let your hips sag towards the floor. Keep those hips parallel with your shoulders about. And we're at 30 seconds. I'm gonna take a little breather here. And I'm gonna come back in about 10 seconds and polish it off. Okay, we're down to our last 15. Here we go. Let's see if we can make it to the end. Keep those abs tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo, we did it. Oh man, those are a tough one to end on. All right. So we can take some time here to recover. We made it through all of the hard work. Grab some water. We're going to finish up with just 2 minutes of some single leg balance work. So that will sort of serve as our cool down. It'll be a little bit lower intensity. We're mostly just going to be training balance. So it shouldn't be too bad. And it'll be a nice way to sort of bring that heart rate down at the end of our workout here. Whew. Okay. That was a tough one today. Everybody should give yourself a hand for making it through that. I've got my quads are burning quite a bit from those plank jacks too. Sort of unexpected fatigue in my legs. So for the balance stuff, if you feel like you need, grab a stable chair or be close to a wall, something that you can grab onto or use in case you lose your balance and you don't want to fall. So totally up to you how confident you feel being on one leg and catching yourself if you lose balance. We're going to be doing some single leg stands. So what we're going to be doing is getting up on one leg. So lifting one leg off the floor. And then from here, a couple things you can do. Now, if this is challenging enough to try to maintain this for a minute, just being on one leg, go ahead and start here. If this is too easy for you and you're like, oh, I can sit here for days, add a little bit of rotation in there where you're turning your chest from wall to wall and try to maintain your balance here. If that's a little bit too easy, you can do the same thing, do the rotations, but close your eyes. So you're going to close your eyes, rotate side to side, and if you need that chair, have the chair there to grab onto. So 3 variations: standing on one leg and rotating, or most hard standing on one leg and closing your eyes. So try the 3 of those. We're going to go for a full minute on each leg. And your goal is to try to maintain that balance throughout the full minute, but challenge your balance. If it's too easy here, try to add this in or a little bit of movement, because in order to get better at balancing, we actually have to train it and sort of overload that system. So we need to make it challenging. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So onto one leg. Try just standing here first. If this seems pretty easy and you're not struggling, we can add rotations in. And this usually serves to make it quite a bit harder. This will challenge your balance. But just keep trying to rotate that chest from facing one wall to facing the other wall and try to keep that balance. And we are now at halfway marker. So if you want to make it easier or harder, go ahead and make a change. I think for my last 15 seconds, I'm going to try to also close my eyes. I've got my eyes closed. This is going to be tough. And we've got about 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, good. Let's take a break. Shake that leg out a little bit. Might have a little burn going on your foot and your shin. And we're gonna go ahead and set up on the other leg. So go ahead, switch legs. Same thing here. We got 3 variations. Play around with those as we go through our minute here. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So I'm going up onto my right leg now. This is typically my leg that I can't balance on quite as good as my left leg. So we're at 15 seconds. I'm going to add rotations in. That's pretty easy for me to stand. I don't feel like I'm really challenging my balance. So this is definitely a little bit more challenging to me. And I would encourage you to keep just a little bit of bend in that knee of that leg that you have down on the floor. Good, and we're at our last 15 seconds. I'm gonna close my eyes for the last 15 here and give this a try. This will definitely challenge me. And we're down to 3, 2, 1. Time, nice work. So a little bit of balance at the end there, and I feel like my heart rate has come down. And that served as a pretty good little cool down. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And as always, I hope that you enjoyed the workout. Our next live workout is going to be this coming Saturday at 10 a.m., the surprise workout. So go ahead and join that it's going to be a surprise. I have no idea. Probably a mix of a little bit of everything. But thank you for joining me.